Hi everybody. Oh, sorry about my hand. I'm going to give you guys a second to get logged on. I know that it takes a minute for live feeds. Welcome to this week. I do a live video every Tuesday at 3 o'clock or maybe 2 or 3 minutes after. Busy week. Yesterday was my birthday, but I spent the day doing taxes. Yep, you're right. Taxes. Why? Because I'm a procrastinator, just like everybody else. So, oh, welcome, Shirley. Good to see you. Okay, so we have people jumping on. So, I spent Sunday working with a brand new suite called Boho, and it's a little bit expensive. It's $70, but the value, you just can't beat what you get in it. There's a whole stamp set and a set of framelits and designer paper. So the designer paper, you get 6 different designs, 8 of each, in a 6x6 sheet. And then you get 2 pre-embossed sheets. So I'll show you those, and I have a technique to share. So that's all exciting stuff. Now, before we get started, thank you, Shirley. I also wanted to share with you, I don't know how long it's been. It's been at least 10 years. I founded a group for demonstrators that have lost everything to a flood, a fire. This most recent dam break in Michigan left Dee True Love without anything left. She lost everything. And I wanted to make you aware that I co-founded this group to help people like Dee get back on her feet. And today we released a new database so that demonstrators can get on and pledge something small, even current samples, to Dee to help her get back on her feet now that she is ready to start doing business again. She's been a demonstrator for 20 years. Can you imagine losing 20 years of accumulated things? I imagine my studio underwater, and so that's what happened, why it came to be. I sent somebody a box, and then next thing you know, she wanted to pay it forward, and that's just how it went. So I'm going to jump over and I'm going to share. Sharon, we missed you on that Zoom. Let me see. They changed the way that I share, so it just takes me an extra second to share into my private group. If you're not a member of my group, say the word and I'll send you over the link and you can request to join. There's a whole bunch of my crafty friends in there, and I post all sorts of stuff. In fact, I'll be posting all about these projects when I finish them. It is also tax week, so I have done my income and now I have to do my expenses, and I have T-minus 1.5 days to get all that done. So all right, so without further ado, I'm just going to flip the camera, then I'll start looking at your comments, and I will show you. Okay, yeah, it flipped. Hang on one second. Oh, Sharon, definitely. Just send me a message after we get off here, and I'll pop you the link. If you want to search for it, it's called Creating with Selene. So instead of create with an E, it's creating. Just that way I don't get confused between the group and my business page. All right, so I made a few cards on Sunday before I started my taxes. Why is it that making cards is so much easier than doing things like taxes? Anyway, there are 6 patterns. This is the first one that I worked with, and so that's the front and that's the back. So I took a 6x6, and you guys know that I love one-sheet wonders. So once I get everything done, I will share the one-sheet wonder that I used to create each of these samples. And I did preview it last night, but let's take a look here. So this one, let's see, was the second design I worked with. They were all mixed up. Geez, it's like somebody's unprepared. Let me see. Oh, actually, I made more than 16. I made 17. if you count the card I made because I was missing my buddies. All right. So this one goes with this batch. This one goes over there. So first set, this design, and I made from one piece of 6x6. So I still have 7 of these left because you get 8 of each 6x6 sheet. Here's the first card. And super simple layout. I just cut it, you know, cut an inch strip and flipped one side over and then framed it up with some matching cardstock. And again, like I said, when I post this, I'll post the one sheet wonder and what the dimensions are. But this one is a bunch of birthday love. So all of these stamps come in the same set. The only thing that I added that wasn't in the kit was this seaside spray and all the cardstock. So it doesn't come with cardstock. It comes with these little embellishments. It comes with 2 kinds of ribbon, but it doesn't come with this ribbon. But I like it. Okay, so happy birthday. These are adorable. They look like the little gallon jug things, but I like just the single flower coming out of them. It's so cute and simple. And I also added this shape, stitched, I forget what it's called. You guys can help me. Stitched something or other. You'll get it before I will. That's okay. I'll make cute cards. You can tell me what the stuff I used was. And then this one. So this one, check out this technique. So this is stamped. Obviously, you can see that there's more than one color. I'm going to show you how I did that. This ribbon comes in the pack, and it's just so beautiful. It's like velvet. Here, let me show you a close-up. Oh my goodness. It's like just gorgeous. And then it also comes with this ribbon. And there's a slew of embellishments. And unlike the past artisan kits, this one has a refill for it doesn't refill on the ribbon, but it refills on these, which are flowers. And I already used a ton of them. But somebody's messaging me. I'm sorry if you got that. Anyway, it comes with a ton of flowers, and you get flowers in the refill and all the paper and all the die cuts that I'm going to show you. So stay with me here. So that's just the first pattern. So I used 1 sheet of designer paper, and I made 5 projects out of it. Okay. So then I moved on, and you could see, like, I had fun. Actually, this was the first pattern I worked with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the next one, and I'm going to show you that pattern so you can see it a little bit better. It's this one. So here's the front, or here's the back, and here's the front, whatever. They look like leaves, but I kind of see a bunch of hearts in there, and my team name is Stampers with Heart, so I'm always looking for heart images. So actually, this was the first one I chose to play with because of my team and how much I miss them right now. So here's the first card I made. And you can see again, like I did stamp it in the lighter blue, the seaside spray, but then I added some color, and I'll show you how I did that at the end here. And then, so simple. This is just designer paper and the die cut, and I tied that ribbon in a knot so that it almost uses like none, maybe 2 inches. Here's another one, and I used the same technique for this. Now, it's not showing up on camera, but in person, the two-tone on this is brilliant. I'm hoping that when I take photos of it that you can see how awesome that is, like with the two-tone flowers or leaves, blue leaves, whatever. I started by cutting a bunch of shapes, and it was much easier to have a bunch of pre-cut things to put in my vase because then I could just play. And this was actually a leftover piece that on my sketch was marked scrap, but I used it to make another card. And then finally, this one, I trimmed the front by 1 inch and stamped the background. I added some Wink of Stella to the center of those. I don't know if you catch it, like right there. I Wink of Stella at everything. And that's, you know. And then I sponged this. And on the inside, you still need a place to write. So I just trimmed down the inside so it wouldn't interfere with the design of the designer paper showing through on the side. And again, I used one sheet of paper for all 5 projects, front and back, on that design. Okay. Moving right along. I hope that you guys are loving these. Let me know what you think. All right, I have 1, 2. Where are they? That's what happens when you go live. You start to lose things on the table. Here we go. Found them. Nope, that's not it. Here we go. Last design. So this was the 3rd one that I played with. Mind you, there's still 3 designs, so I didn't even get to finish what I had in mind. So this is the front and the back of that one piece of paper. And again, I made more cards out of 1 sheet of paper. So let's go again. I can't wait until I finish my taxes and I can finish playing. If only I could play with stamps all day. Does somebody want to do my taxes and then I can go back to work? So that's the first one. It's so funny. And here's card 2. And then using the back side of that designer paper, this is card 3. Now, I want to show you something here. You see this? This stamp is it's intended for this vase, okay? Well, I actually stamped that vase on these, 1, 2, 3, and I used the lighter color here, the Seaside Spray on it. And then because the vase is a little bit chunkier than this vase, all I did was I sponged the edges to kind of blend it in. So the Seaside Spray showed up on the green as a green, and it was fine. And it showed up on the navy just barely, and it shows up on the Seaside Spray beautifully. Not as it was intended, but it does fit, and if you just sponge a little bit, you can't tell. Okay, how exciting. Then I made this one, and again, it's that same technique I want to show you. Now you can tell why I'm so excited to show you what we did. And then finally, I had this little bitty scrap of paper left when I was done making those 4 cards, and I made this one, and I cut the designer paper out of this 1-inch scrap that I had. It was like, I think 1 by 2, and just framed it up with those die cuts again. To make card 15. So that's 15 cards in 3 sheets of 6 by 6 designer paper. Alrighty. You can tell I had fun. Then I had a pity party, and my girlfriends were messaging me because we were supposed to leave for Hawaii. And I took a bunch of these Hawaiian flowers, and I stuck them to the card, and notice there's one blue one. I think that might be me, but it's okay. I was only blue for like 30 seconds because I was busy playing with paper. And I sent them this card. It's not the most stellar card that I've ever made, but it's kind of like anything. It's the thought behind it. And boy, I miss my girls. So finally, I started to break into some of the pre-embossed cardstock that comes with. I still haven't even shown you, like, I still haven't even touched half this kit. So this one, you see the embossed layer? You get 2 sheets, 6 by 6 each of those, in addition to the 6 sheets of the other stuff. And there's 3 patterns. This is one of them. I'm sorry, I hope that you can see this. Oh, there it goes. So the diamonds. And then you get 2 sheets of circles. And then you get 2 sheets of these, which look like the leaves from the stamp set. Pretty cool stuff. Now, I gotta tell you, I stamped this in Just Jade with the intention of doing the same technique with the green, and it's a little too dark for me. So I think next time I'm gonna stamp off on the Just Jade before I build my technique. So I'll just tell you what I have for that after. But you also get, I can't like not show you this, you get 2 sheets of these, and I haven't even used one of them yet. You stamp on it and stick it on as an embellishment. And then you get 2 sheets of these. It's crazy, isn't it? It comes with so much stuff. And then you get 2 sheets of these. And this is where I came up with the idea that I needed to put just jade in there, because although it lists it as garden green and the outside is definitely garden green and it's a completely different green, just jade is in the middle when you really look at it close. So I'm in love. Anyway, and I haven't even touched the die cuts yet. All right. So I won't even show you my table, but if you're over on the creative group, you'll see that I cut out a bazillion of like just a bunch of different shapes and jars and leaves and so stuff like this, and it's all over my table on the other side. But that's good because I'm live and we don't need to show you all that. What I do want to show you is this technique that I've been talking about to get the 2 levels of ink. And I think it's easiest to see it on the blue. So let's go there first. So I'm always saving leftover bags. I take these that the cardstock comes in, and I slice them at one end. And then when I'm done stuffing packets for a real in-person class, someday we'll do it again, I promise, I use them to hold my cards, and I just stuff the cards in the envelopes, and I do it that way. But on a day like today, when I don't want to be bothered with having something that I have to clean up, I'm going to use this to watercolor a little bit. So, and I should have a Stampin' mat. So if this doesn't stamp right the first time, you can say, I told you you should have had a Stampin' mat. All right, so I'm going to ink this up in the Seaside Spray, which is the lighter color. And I have been using these 2 colors together, Seaside Spray and Misty Moonlight, like it is going out of style. I'm going to stamp the back because there's a mark on my cardstock, and it's going to be okay to use the back. I mean, it won't be as stitched looking, but I'd rather have that than a big streak going across my paper. Okay, so hopefully it follows well. Now, if you pick it up and it sticks, you can make sure that the ink is on there by pressing if you didn't have a mat like me. Okay. Now we can have some fun. So I could do this technique all day, every day, and you know that I love to paint with Wink of Stella, but this is a little bit different. I don't know if you've ever seen the no-line watercolor. Well, it's similar, except this is a solid image, and I just want to take this image and I want it to be light to dark. So I want it, it's beautiful the way it is, okay? But it's stunning when you can add a little dimension to it. Let me show you side by side where we're going. So when you can add this low light to it, it brings everything to life. So to get started, I'm going to use way too much Wink of Stella and squeeze some down onto my palette to get it really mushy, gushy, messy. And I'm going to click on the video just for a second to make sure that I can see your comments. There's way too much Wink of Stella. See? It said nobody ever. I should never say that. It's like bad words. I'm going to take... I need scratch paper, so I'm going to take something right out of my little recycle bin right here. This is just from leftover die cuts. But you want your brush to be really oozy-goozy with Wink of Stella. And then you want to drag a little bit of that blue over. You can always go darker, but once you put too much on the paper, it's kind of like giving a haircut. If you cut too much, you're all done. It's always better to cut a little bit and see if you like it than it is to cut too much and be overdone. So I also like these bags because of the sticker that's on the back. I can see what I've got going on here on the white, and I've got a nice light color, dark to light, on my palette. So I made kind of like Wink of Stella paint. And now I'm going to take my image and I'm going to start by drawing like a single line and see if I like that shade. And I want it a tiny bit darker. So I'm going to go closer to the beginning, like where the ink meets the wink. Oh, somebody quote me. Where the ink meets the wink. I love it. Hey, Vicky. Hi, Carol. Thank you for sharing. You guys are the best. I have the best buddies. Let's see. So I am just taking, see, too much. But that's okay because I can always blend it out. Just try not to. So you can see how much darker that one shade is. But notice also that as I'm painting, I am just adding a tiny dark line at the bottom. So this is going to be where my plant stands. And if there was a light coming down, everything at the bottoms up would be the dark stuff. So here we go. I could do this all day. It is my favorite thing, and it adds so much depth to your projects. This one needs a little bit of darker. I'll do a close-up here in a minute. Oh my gosh. I wasn't kidding when I said I could do it all day, huh? But that's how I got that shading on all of those projects that I used that technique on. And of course now it's looking really dark, so I want to kind of make sure that if I do it on one part of my project, that I carry that dark. So now you can have layers of dark. So there's dark to light all throughout. And then when I'm all done, I can clean my brush and go back and blend it. So don't let it dry too much because it's sort of paint. I mean, it is water-based paint, but don't let it dry too much because it doesn't blend as well when it's dry. And then you can build and just paint. So the paintbrush is out of the darker color right now, but I'm blending that color through. So it's like watercoloring, only it's way more fun, and when you're done, it's sparkly. What do you guys think? Do you have any questions for me? So then when you're done, the beauty of putting this on one of these is when you're done, you can just get rid of it. And your table is clean and you're ready to go again. So let's take a look again at the projects that we used this technique on just real quick. So this one, I did it with the 3 flowers in the center, and I'll pull back so you can see the whole project. And then I did it again with the sky, and I'll give you a closer. Hopefully you're getting the. And then, let's see, I know I did it on like 3 or 4, and then this one was on the colored paper. So it was already Seaside Spray, and I stamped it with Seaside Spray, and then I added the Misty Moonlight right on top, just like I did this. In a video situation, it shows up way better on the white, but in person, the blue, it's unbelievable on this Seaside Spray. I don't know why it's not showing up the way I would like on video. Does that make sense? And that's the same thing in Just Jade. These two, I did the same technique, but again, the Just Jade stamped so dark because my pad came, and you know, sometimes when your ink pads are brand new, they come super juicy, and all I do, if it is I get the cheapest paper towels at the dollar store that I can find. They're not even a towel anymore. They're more like just like straight paper. And I take the whole thing and kind of just go down and blot it out, because if it's too inky, then you won't get the exact color. You're going to get like one shade up from the jade. And I did stamp this in jade, but it looks so like the darker color. So just some tips for you if your ink pads are new. So I know it's a short video today, but we did cover a lot, and I'm not even done. I have 3 more patterns to do, and I want to do more with these embossed ones. So there's 2 sheets each of the embossed and 8 of the other ones. So hopefully I've inspired you. If you bought the boho set, have no fear. I'm going to be posting all of these, and actually I was thinking I've spent so much time with this, I think I'm going to blog these and do for each set that came out of one piece. I'm gonna blog them all together and do the one sheet wonders so that you guys can recreate them if you like them. This one, there's a funny story behind this one. I stamped a sentiment at the bottom and it was totally in the wrong place. So I took scissors and cut it off, and then I stuck it on another green layer, and it was just, I'm like, there's the table. So I put a piece of ribbon across to, but it's just the same die cut, same size with the bottom cut off because I made a mistake. So isn't that funny? And these things, I don't know how many come in them, but I have been sprinkling them on everything, and I'm still not out of the first set. So that's pretty encouraging. You can use them until you run out. And so this ribbon comes with it, and the blue ribbon, the dark blue, not the light blue. The light blue was an add-on. So, well, thanks for stopping by today. And like I said, I'm going to be playing more with this set before I move on. I will be releasing this month's class, which will be to go. And I think that's everything. I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you next week at 3 o'clock right here. Have a good night.